When it comes to making videos, pretty much every professional out there is going to tell you that audio quality matters more than video quality. If an audience is put off by really bad sound, then they're not going to stick around and watch the rest of your video. And while there are a lot of great USB microphones you can use in sort of a home studio or streaming sort of setup, when you're out on the go, things start to get a little bit more tricky. Comica provides a lot of recording hardware, and their latest is this VDLive10 kit, with two transmitters that have a built-in microphone and a receiver that can either feature a lightning port or USB-C port. This kit makes it super easy to get good audio when you're doing a mobile streaming vlog, or if you're recording in a studio, or if you're recording to a mirrorless or DSLR camera. And obviously I am using one of the microphones right now. I have the transmitter clipped to my shirt here. So let's dive in and take a look at all the features of this kit from Comica. Thanks for watching 9 to 5 Toys. Be sure to like, subscribe, and enable notifications with the bell icon so you don't miss any upcoming videos. Hey everyone, Jordan here with 9 to 5 Toys, and today we do have this Comica kit. This is the VDLive10, and we have the Lightning version. There is also a version that comes with a USB-C connector if you want to use this on an Android device or use it on a laptop or something like that, so some really cool versatility there. And we'll open up the box here just to kind of show you what the kit is like. Obviously, I do have the receiver mounted to my camera so I can record audio through that, and I have one of the transmitters clipped onto my shirt here, so the case is going to look a little bit empty. But it comes in this awesome, pretty handy little case where you can place the two transmitters and the receiver, and the case will recharge those back up when you do put them in here and close this up. Getting the Comica VDLive10 kit out of the box, Comica has included a hard case that holds the two transmitters and receiver, a cold shoe mount for putting on top of a camera, a coiled 3.5mm tip ring sleeve, 2-tip ring sleeve cable, a USB-C to USB-A cable for charging, 2 windscreens for the transmitters, and the manual, and these components can all fit into the soft carrying pouch for easy transport. The VDLive10 kit is pretty utilitarian in design, but that fits the purpose pretty well. The transmitters feature a simple illuminated logo on the front that turns on when powered on, and then it also turns red when the transmitter is muted. On the left side are all of the controls. There is a 3-way switch up top that will toggle between off, simplex mode, and duplex mode, and we'll get into those here a little bit later. Below the power switch, there is a single button that can cycle between 4 different volume levels with a single press and mute the transmitter when held for a couple seconds. And on the right side is a very small reset button. On top of the transmitter is the microphone, and combined with the clip on the back of the unit, it's easy to place the microphone on a garment of clothing for picking up voice. Much like I have here, I just have it clipped to my shirt. Obviously this does stand out more than like a hidden lav mic, but as far as ease and simplicity, it really doesn't get much better than this. On the bottom of the transmitter is a multi-purpose 3.5mm port. In simplex mode, the 3.5mm port works like a microphone in, so you can plug an external microphone into this transmitter rather than using the internal microphone. And in duplex mode, it will function as a monitor out to hear your own audio. Looking at the receiver, both versions of the Comica VDLive10 receiver have their connection on the left side, and Comica also includes a little cap to place on the connector to try and protect it. On the front of the receiver is a screen with plenty of useful information. Up top, the screen shows mono or stereo mode and the battery level of the receiver. Underneath are statuses of both transmitters. There is signal level, battery level for each transmitter, the current volume level of each transmitter, and an audio level meter for each transmitter. And these are all really easy to monitor from that screen on the receiver. On the right side of the receiver is a power switch and a mono to stereo toggle button. Just pushing that button once will change that on the screen from an M to an S. Comica also has a 3.5mm port on the bottom of the receiver to send audio out to another device like a camera or external recorder. So that's how I have it set right now on my camera. I'm using that cold shoe mount on top of my Sony a7S III, and then I have that cable running into the microphone in of my camera. And one little note here, I don't know if you'd actually use it like this, but it does output audio through both the digital connector, like the Lightning connector, and the 3.5mm as well at the exact same time. So if you need to record to 2 devices, you can with that. So getting the Comica VDLive10 set up is incredibly simple. All you need to do is open up the case, pull out the devices you need. So if it's just one person talking, then just pull out one transmitter, clip it on your subject, and then you pull out your receiver and either plug it into your phone or use that cold shoe mount to mount it to a camera. And then, if you are on a camera, just plug in the cable and turn everything on, and then you're ready to go. You can also adjust that volume level like we talked about by pushing the button on the transmitter. I found that keeping it like at 1 or 2 for spoken voice, for just clipping it to a person, I found that that works pretty well. The receiver will display the current volume level on there. It says vol 1 through 4, and that'll let you know, which setting you're on. And you can also monitor the audio level on the receiver as well. So that makes it kind of easy to tell whether it's too loud or too soft. Although I found that the screen doesn't really update very quickly, and so if there are some really quick, really loud noises, it doesn't really pop up there as much as what I think it would. So it doesn't quite work as well as, some other dedicated units, but it still is very helpful for just doing a quick little check just to make sure that, your subject isn't too loud or too quiet. And Comica does also include this little windscreen if you are outside and need a little bit more protection from wind. And swapping between the mono and stereo mode is pretty useful depending on what kind of content you are shooting. So in mono mode, it will take both of the transmitters and put them both into one audio signal, so it sounds like, both people are kind of right in front of you. In stereo mode, it'll separate those to left and right, which could be great if you are editing it in post-production and you want to separate those out and tweak them individually. Then that makes it a lot easier to do that. But if you are using this for like a mobile stream, then you might want to leave that in the mono mode, which would be a little bit more natural. Just sound like both of the voices are right in front of you, and that would just sound a little more natural, not as separated. And of course, how does it sound? Well, you've been listening to it throughout this entire video, so hopefully I have a good idea of what it sounds like. And I'm just going to leave the audio raw coming out of this, and then usually I think that lav mics do need, a little bit of EQ tweaking. I found that it sounds a little bit muddy to my ears, so what I've been doing when I've used this for recording some other videos is I'll kind of drop down some of the lows a little bit, and then I'll also boost it up a little bit in the higher mids and make it sound not quite as boomy. But I've also found that pretty much, every single lav mic I think needs just a little bit of EQ tweaking on there as well. It's not going to sound as natural as, a large dedicated condenser microphone like a lot of people are used to for streaming and things like that. But in all situations, this is going to sound 10 times better than if you are just using the dedicated microphone on your camera or on your phone. Those can sound decent if you're in very close proximity to them, but once you get any sort of distance away, then it starts picking up a lot of room noise, and especially if you're in a noisy room, that can get pretty overwhelming and just make your audio sound terrible. So having a microphone like this that you can clip to your subject, get very directional audio just right there, right next to your subject, is definitely a huge improvement. All right, so here we're doing a little bit of a different setup just to show you how this works. I am recording on my iPhone 8 through voice memos right now. So it's plugged into the bottom here through the lightning connection. The only thing I would comment on this is that it doesn't have, like a flush connection down here. It's all kind of riding just on that lightning connector. And so it makes me a little bit nervous for, the durability of that. It doesn't feel super stable. It feels a little bit wiggly. It's just, not the most pleasant feeling. But as long as you just kind of leave it alone and don't really mess with it much, I think it should probably be fine. So I just wanted to demonstrate how it works on an iPhone. And one thing I also want to show here real quick, we will set up the other transmitter and put it over to the stereo mode so you can kind of hear how that sounds. And so right now we've got the other one. We'll turn it on and we'll put it on the single mode. And then we're going to press the button on the side of the receiver to put it into stereo. So now this should be coming through in stereo. This microphone on me should be coming through one ear. I think it's group A, so it should be the left ear. And then if I start talking into this other microphone, I'll take this one off. This should be coming through on the right side. So this should be on the left, and this should be on the right. So that'll give you a little bit of idea of how that stereo works. So if you are recording two different people and want to separate those audio files, this is the way that you want to do it. Just pop it over to that stereo mode, and then you have a really easy way to do that. And so now I'll pop it back into mono, and so it should be coming right back through the middle again. So we mentioned this a little bit, but when you are in that duplex mode, the transmitter will actually let you monitor your audio as well. So if you want to hear what you sound like, if you're on a conference call and you want to be able to hear yourself, then flip it over to that mode and use that. We also mentioned that you won't be able to use an external microphone when you are in that mode, but this just gives it some more usability if you do need to monitor yourself. And you might have noticed in the design that there's no battery compartment, and we talked about the charging case recharging these. And so this is a cool feature, but then also makes it a little bit limited as well. Because you have to charge all the pieces in the case, you can't just, pop out a battery and pop in a new one to keep going. This is going to kind of limit your productions. You can expect to get about 4 hours of use from a fully charged battery, and then I think the charging case can recharge everything about 3 times. But if you are planning a longer shoot, then this might have some downtime if you're planning on going longer than 4 hours. All right, and overall, just wrapping up here, at $180 for the USB-C version and $200 for the Lightning version, the Comica VDLive10 kit really is a great way to get some extremely simple, very versatile audio for your mobile stream setup, or if you're even doing, some interviews and different videos like I'm doing here with it connected to my camera. If you are doing a live stream from your phone, this just makes the audio so much better because you can get actual audio on your subject rather than relying on the microphone on your phone. So if that's something that you've been looking to improve in your setup, then definitely check out the Comica VDLive10.